Maintenance worker who did work in my girlfriend apartment. I think he likes her and give me dirty looks. Should I approach him about this? Almost 2 years ago my girlfriend put in a work order with her apartment building to fix her washing machine. I am 36, wasn't there, but they sent one of the maintenance workers to come fix it. She said he came and did something to the washing machine, left it running and said he will be back, and came back 10 minutes and said that it working now. About 2 to 3 weeks after this, me and my girlfriend getting on the elevator and he gets on with us and spoke to my girlfriend but not me and told her to have a good day when we got off. I gave him a dirty look when we got off elevator but didn't say anything. After this we rarely saw this maintenance worker like that. My GF said she rarely saw him when by herself too. Fast forward to 3 days ago, we were getting on the elevator and he comes off the elevator on the opposite side of the building. The building has 4 elevators, 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. Anyway, he comes off the elevator all the way down the hall and is staring at me and my girlfriend. I stare at him and he tilts his head up while looking at me like he was trying to intimidate me. The elevator wind up coming, so me and my GF got on. Today my girlfriend had an apartment inspection, but yesterday my girlfriend said he knocked and had a cart of tools asking her if she has inspection today. She said no. She said he said sorry and left. I believe he knocked for other reasons. I saw him today during his lunch break in his car and was going to approach him but wasn't sure what to say. I don't know if he saw me or not, but I was right next to his window when walking past. Comment: he probably doesn't like you, manly, because you gave him a dirty look the first time you guys met. Not everyone is going to like you in this life, and that's okay. At this stage just let him live his life and you live yours. If he makes something bad to you or your girlfriend, then deal with it then. Right now is not worth it. Jesus Christ, man, get a hold of yourself. This guy's works there and will be seen at any time for any reason because it is his job. He has never met you, but he has your girlfriend, so why would he not said hi to her? You're a stranger. You are digging back 2 years in your memory bank to try to connect the dots that this dude somehow likes your girlfriend just because he was doing his job and in his place of employment. Your story reeks of insecurity and jealousy, and you will not have healthy relationships as a result. I implore you to work through this before it spirals into controlling behavior. You are seeing things that are not happening. Don't confront him unless you are willing to throw hands, and I am just guessing here, you probably aren't comfortable with that sort of thing considering you posted about this instead of instantly confronting him. Here is the problem: women like aggressive dudes. I know, I am that dude. Ha ha ha. They won't admit it to you, but they do. It's the woman's responsibility to recognize what the other dude is doing, and shut it down, so you don't have to get violent. Same way as a man, it's your responsibility to shut any woman down who hits on you in front of your woman, so she doesn't have to deal with it. If your GF didn't do shit, she likes it. Doesn't mean something will happen, but it didn't bother her enough to shut it down. Next story 2. My friend is considering going back with her toxic and abusive ex who severely beat her up at the end of their last relationship. This is not about my relationship, but I need some advice how to help my friend. My friend had one long-term relationship. This relationship has been more than rocky. They fought often and it was quite toxic at times. With threatening breakups, making body-shaming comments, she is on the rounder side, and feeding of her insecurities. In 2019 they moved in together and broke up a few months afterwards because of infidelity issues on his end. After a year of being broken up they started dating again, and in early 2022 they moved in together. It didn't work out again and ended horribly. He beat her up, broken nose, broken ribs, and a 2-week hospital stay. After this they broke up, and she was sure never to go back with him. After a few months they started talking again. He moved away to another continent and for a brief moment she cut contact with him. He's back now for a school thing but will be leaving again in December. She is now considering giving him another chance. At the beginning she said maybe in a few years after he's done some therapy and all, but now it's now. The problem is that she doesn't consider the beating up as that traumatic due to being a victim of CSA. Now I don't know what to do. We talk about it a lot but I can't seem to get through to her. I am afraid for her because I really doubt that he'll change without considerable therapy, and even then it's debatable. I never liked him, due to sexist and homophobic/transphobic remarks and his toxic behavior, and in the past 3 years he has become worse and worse. But I don't want to give up on my friend. I want to be there for her and spare her another failed try with this guy. Do you have any advice? Comment. The problem is that she's an adult, and can make her own decisions. This often happens with abusive relationships. The abuser can typically convince the abused that the relationship is worth trying again. The more you push against the relationship, the more your friend may go to the abuser. Remember, the abuser will isolate the abused, and being against them and the relationship is further feeding fire and justifying the manipulation the abuser is doing. So the best you can do is be there for your friend. You can't tie her up and keep her away. Just remind her you'll be there for her. That's a tough one. In your shoes, I'd probably say something like this. Look. You remember being in the hospital for 2 weeks? That's bad. I mean, really bad. You've tried making this relationship work a few times, and it not only hasn't worked, it has ended in a worse fashion each time. I want you to know that I'm your friend, and I will support you. But you also need to know that I think getting back in touch with this guy is a major mistake, let alone having a relationship with him. It isn't safe for you. There are better people out there. You've given your input, you told her that you care, and she's an adult. Sadly, this is not your job. Shout outs to you for going above and beyond, but if she cannot determine that this man who put her in the hospital is bad for her, then no one else can. There's nothing you can do, except be there for her when he inevitably hurts her again. She is an adult and she is choosing to be with someone who beat her up. Sorry. Next story 3. Is it fair for me to ask my husband to spend less time with his friends so we can rebuild our relationship? My husband has a close group of friends. We used to hang out 3 to 4 times a week with these people. Before the separation, I initiated it because I felt emotionally detached from my husband and unsupported. They were close friends of mine as well. After a month of distance between my husband and I, during which time he was emotionally struggling, we decided to try again. We are still living apart, but dating, spending a few days together, and going to counseling. During that time, his friends were very supportive of him and I appreciate that. But, now the friend group seems to be acting super awkward around me. I was excited to see them for the first time in a while and offered enthusiastic hugs and it was met with the hesitant ones. I asked everyone how they've been expecting stories. They have me short, one-worded answers. Especially from one girl. She seemed super upset at was even there. I understood there might be some awkwardness, but it didn't get better the entire night. I tried to initiate interest and conversation and basically felt like an outsider. I have up and spent the rest of the night sat on the far side, on the other side of my husband. I understand they only saw his side and definitely don't know the full story of why we separated. But they saw the pain he went through, and they know I caused it. I also went through pain. I initiated it from a place of feeling unsupported. I never meant to be the bad guy. I asked hubby if we could maybe cut back seeing these friends from 4 times a week to 1, sometimes 2, so we can do things together and rebuild our relationship. I don't feel welcome in that friend group anymore and it really bothers me they see me negatively. Nothing was ever done maliciously to my husband, their friend. His response was brief and quick. Not a direct answer but more of a we can spend more time together. I guess I feel like I'm now competing with his friends. I worry I'm not the priority. And now I feel selfish. Was it fair to ask my husband that? Comment. Well, yeah. You're not their favorite person right now, and you're not going to be until they're sure they can count on you not to hurt him again. If you're going to expect them to pretend like nothing happened instead of acknowledging that reality and that it's going to take a while to rebuild trust, of course it's going to be awkward. And while 4 times a week is a lot of time to spend even with a friend group you're on good terms with, if you start taking steps to cut him off from what's clearly been an important source of support in your absence because they weren't immediately all hugs and smiles toward you, they're going to go from wary but willing to take his lead on giving you another chance to actively encouraging him to leave because this doesn't seem healthy. Although if part of the reason you're pushing for this is that you are genuinely concerned he's always going to choose the friend group over you no matter what, this isn't healthy and you should probably just call it quits for good. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't sound like you're asking for him to stop spending time to mend whatever y'all have, but more out of jealousy. Not being included in a group you once were can make you feel bad. I say give it time. You're expecting him to jump from the people who supported him from a tough time at the end of the day. Detaching him may take time, in the meantime make other friends with him. While mending he will slowly start to detach from them and they will hopefully open back up. It sounds like part of the problem before was him prioritizing friends over marriage. If he really wants to work on getting back under one roof, I think he would take a second to think about what you're asking. Because yeah, he likely gave them a very one-sided account of what went down and now he has to also either be truthful with them about the whole story or at least tell them that he didn't share everything and you two are working on it, so they should give you a tad less cold shoulder to help him make headway. But I have a question. The one friend who was super upset you were there. What's the deal with her? Because that seems a little like an angry woman who resents an old flame coming back into a man's life. I could be wrong and totally misreading it, but it seems like she maybe resents you being around for other reasons.